Hey everybody, this is Darwin Reina, the festival director of the Northfield Festival in Sweden and Stockholm, also the Northfield Festival in New York City, which is next year, February. I have the honor to have today Jimmy and Mick. They are the producer, the actor, Jimmy, and Mick is the director. They made this beautiful film, Trust in Love, that they won the best feature film in our festival. Very well deserved. How are you, sir?
Thank you.
Good, and you?
I'm doing great. Happy to have you. It's an honor to have you. Please, Jimmy and Mick, tell me how is this collaboration between both of you came together? How you put Trust in Love, which is a really good film, huh? This is quality, guys. Tap tap. Tell me
Thank you.
about the collaboration between you, first of all.
Jimmy, you go ahead, because you're the
Oh.
producer and the actor.
Well, Mick and I met through a mutual friend, sort of kind of just a happenstance meeting. And I had I had the original idea for the screenplay. And then when I met Mick, he agreed to work with me. At the time, the script was too long and it needed to be rewritten and stuff. So Mick was kind enough to work with me to get the script in order. And I said, look, we're in Malibu. Let's make this little film. So we just after we worked on the script together, decided to put it together. And Mick was kind enough to bring his quality and, of course, his crew. You know, the DP and the editor and we got the legendary Jack Douglas to do the sound. So this was all through Mick's work.
Wow. So Mick is connected, in other words.
I'm connected, very connected.
Yeah. Also, go ahead, Mick.
Oh, so for me, it was, I didn't know Jimmy. A mutual friend asked me to meet with him. I read the script. I thought there was a lot of lovely things in there. We did a bit of work, and then Jimmy says, "Well, will you direct it?" And I wasn't prepared for that, but I thought, well, Malibu, why not? You know, it's kind of beautiful there, and he's a lovely guy. So of all the people I have to work with, I'd say he's up there with the best of them. So,
Wow.
And that was it. And we had fun.
Wow, Jimmy, tell me the writing process. How long was for you to get this script done, and then after, how was this collaboration between you and Mick? Because you said that you.
Yeah, I mean, the script's loosely based on my life. So I actually wrote the first draft a number of years ago, put it down, picked it back up, and I always thought that, you know, at some point I wanted to make a divorce film, a film about divorce and just what happens through it all. But then when Mick and I mean, we did the screenplay, and then I think within a few months, or maybe it was within, I don't know, 8 or 9 months, we just decided, okay, let's pull the trigger and make it. And we were fortunate to, it was a kind of a timing thing. We used the band Steelheart, and they're a touring 90s rock band, and so we coordinated with them to have the real authenticity of the band, and they had some dates which we were able to tie into the last scene of the movie, where we, as you remember, where we have the song. So it was just a timing thing. Look, let's do it. Let's pull the trigger on it, and it was a 20-day shoot, and then. Wow. And then, of course, Mick we had Chris Sabelli, who is the editor, and Chris does a lot of Mick's movies and is very well known here in Hollywood. And he did just a wonderful editing job. And then we got the legendary Jack Douglas, who is a legendary music composer through Mick. Mick actually recently wrote his biography that's going to be being released. and Jack, which we didn't know if we were able to get, but he saw the edit and agreed to do it for us at a very low, fee, because obviously this not being a studio, this is a a passion, self-financed project. So everybody was really nice that everybody agreed to work, and for not the normal wage, if you will.
Yeah. Do you want me to jump in?
Yes, Mick, go ahead.
Well, we had quality people working on this movie, especially in post. We had Chibeli, who is a great editor. I met him through Andy Garcia, and he's done some stuff for me. And he did if you ever remember a show called The Mentalist? It was on NBC in America. It ran for like 10 seasons, where he edited every episode. So, wow. And he comes from Hollywood family, so he's been in the business a long time. We had the best colorist in the business, who used to do Woody Allen's movies. We had Jack Douglas, who was John Lennon's producer, who did John Lennon's last album and all of Aerosmith, and he did the music for us, as Jimmy said. So we had just phenomenal people, because they loved the movie. I mean, these are honest people. If they didn't like the movie, they would say to me, Mick, it's not my cup of tea, but maybe the next one. But no, as soon as they saw the cut, they said, this is got to work on this,
Right.
And that was it. So we had a great family.
Definitely.
That's the secret sauce,
Definitely. I mean, the movie looks really Hollywood, let's say like that, right? It's really well done. It's no doubt about that. The trailer is just beautiful. It tells us the trailer is really well cut, actually. Tells us everything we need to know everything, but the right moment.
I think Chibeli was drunk when he cut that trailer, so that may have. I'm just kidding.
What about the casting? Is also pretty good. I mean, we have Jimmy, of course. But how was the casting you guys were with? How do you find the right people? Because there's a lot of drama as well there, which is really get us there through the.
I'll let Mick talk about it, but to be honest, really this was a lot of not actors. Even myself, I did a movie years ago. I did a movie years ago that I wrote called Reversal, that's on Apple TV and Amazon. It's a father-son story, but that's really the only other movie I've done. So I'm really not an actor. And Mick and the kids are we're very new. We did have the woman who played my wife, Natasha Wilson. She's
Natasha,
really the only experienced actress, if
very
you will.
Good.
But Mick can talk about that for a minute, because his magic made it everybody do an honest performance, which is what I liked about it.
Yeah, I think we were, again, Martin Scorsese said every movie is about 98% casting and 2% luck. You got to cast it right. No one else could have played Mickey, because Jimmy felt it. So that was a given. And then when it came to the rest of the cast, we had a couple of professional actors. You needed some pros. So the woman who played his wife, Natasha Wilson, seasoned actress. Eric Roberts, seasoned actor. And one or two others. But then the kids were just raw. But the kid, Logan, who played Cody, there was something very vulnerable about him, and that appealed to me, because to have this secret in his life, it was so important that you had a kid who could express it in his face and didn't have to say it. The daughter was great, because I wanted Audrey Hepburn. I wanted somebody who had the Audrey Hepburn vibe going on, and she had it. She has a kind of a purity about her, so that when it's corrupted by the girl at school, you get it. And then we had Tim, who was Mickey's brother, Bobby. And geez, I'd just put this guy in every single movie of mine. Every movie. He's just so brilliant. And he when you watch the movie, he kind of steals the movie whenever he's around, especially his feet, his feet, his bare feet steal the movie. But all in all, it was just a beautiful casting process. And right down to all the small roles, because it's the small roles that really count. And and then you've got to get people. It's a balancing act because we only had 20 days to shoot. Well,
Right.
everybody just has 20 days now. And part of it was making sure when people came in for the day to work that you got them to feel as good as, say, Jimmy did or Eric did or whatever. So you keep the spirits up and let them think that they're doing Shakespeare, and then get it going, right? And that's so it worked out beautiful. And Jimmy was great because generally for the director,
Yeah.
the movie I did before it, the producers always want to try and put a hand in it, and you've got to have a strong vision. And Jimmy was great because it's about collaboration. He was my producer and my actor, but it was about collaboration. So the collaboration was great between us, and I think we just both felt the same thing whenever we met someone who we knew was right for the role. We'd just look at each other and go, "Yeah," and it was kind of like that.
Right. Mick, tell me something about, just gonna get a little bit to see if I can get your secrets out of you. How do you direct actors? What do you like from actors? Was do you guide them very much if it's needed, or you just like to give them freedom? How's your as a director? It's good to know for actors.
Uh, I don't think there's any. I generally don't plan what I'm going to do. I generally just wait until I meet the actor because every actor is different.
Mm-hmm.
I don't I don't audition actors. I don't
Mm-hmm.
believe in the audition process.
Mm-hmm.
I believe in talking to the actor, put them at ease, and see what their thoughts are on the character and the story. Bringing them in and getting them to do a scene, it doesn't work for me because
Mm-hmm.
they could do the scene great that day, and then we hire them, and then they could suck in the rest of the movie,
Mm-hmm.
which would be awful.
Wow.
So I want to talk to them and see if they have a nice personality that can handle a 20-day shoot and or whatever it is. And then ultimately, do they understand the character and the story? Because it's always about the story.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, but I've been very lucky because I've worked with some really good actors over the last 30 odd years. So I learned from them. I learned watching them and how their process was. So you steal from everybody who's good. And then ultimately you apply it. But the process of actually shooting and getting a non-actor to perform, that's
Mm-hmm.
tough because you've got to think, okay, will this person handle me being gentle with them, or am I better if I'm firm? You know.
Mm-hmm.
So we had Jimmy will laugh here because Bobby, Tim, who played Bobby, it was not an actor, and everybody thinks acting is easy, especially if they're attractive. Big handsome guy like Tim is thinking, okay, I can do this, and it's not easy.
Mm-hmm. No.
So it's how you move your hand, how you pick up a cup, how
Mm-hmm.
you look at someone, how you don't look at someone, how
All
you
right.
stand up, how you sit down. All of that is a process, and
Right.
we had to massage Tim a lot. But after a day or two, he just got it. Some people just get it, and then there's people who fight you on it, and it's better with the ones who get it.
Wow.
So
So that's a very nice. I mean, you're a professional director. There's no doubt about that. Beautiful answer, Jimmy. How about you as an actor? How do you like to be direct? What's the traits you're looking at in a director? What do you think?
I mean, look, when you have somebody like Mick, it's just to trust. I don't have really
Mm-hmm.
any experience as an actor. I think it's for me, it's just about trying to be honest and just trying to tell the truth in whatever I'm doing. But it was, one thing that's great about a person like Mick, and I noticed it the first day on set, he really is thinking about story the whole way through. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
and even you could be 10 days in and he remembers what you did. I don't remember what we did 10 days ago, and he knows. I mean, he'll even go, did you wear that shirt in the last, and it's like, he just knows. He's already sort of editing the story in his head. So I think a lot of, at least what I felt was a lot of his advice, even when you were acting, had to do with where we were in the story, which, and you're like, oh, okay, you're right. We just, you know, so
Right.
that was,
Wow.
and because we didn't shoot a lot of, when you do an independent film like this, it wasn't, we didn't have the luxury. And keep in mind, we had some days 3 locations in one day that we were having to pick up and
Right.
move to, and
Wow.
with inexperienced people, and the make, and we, there were times, you know, you only got a couple of takes. It wasn't one of these where we can spend, you know, 10 takes on this. So
Mm-hmm.
we would do something, and Mick goes, okay, we got it. And I'd be like, really? We got it? I was like, well, can't we? But he just knew we got to move. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
you know, we got to be on the beach. We got to be on the beach this afternoon, you know, to try to get it. So his experience, we would have never got that from
Mm-hmm.
a first time filmmaker. Certainly we wouldn't have, or a beginner, because it's just, he just knows, okay, I got what we needed. Let's move on. Because he's thinking, you know, hey, we've only got, you know, 20 days, and we had more than 20 locations in the film, for God's sake. So it was really,
Wow.
There were 30 locations.
right, exactly. So, you know, some days, like I
Mm-hmm.
said, there were some days we had at least 2, many days 3 places to go even.
It's tough, huh? To do that. Yes.
It's not easy. Movie making isn't what people think.
Yes, it's not easy at all. Whether, you know, I figure out being in a few, even if it's a big budget, small budget, still difficult, you know that? It's
Yeah, big
in any,
problems, big money, small
yeah,
problems, small money. It's still
correct.
problems.
It's no difference at all. It's still difficult. Let's go to the post-production. How was that process? How long was the post-production, the editing process? How do you both, or Mick, how do you decide the last master that we're seeing right now, this beautiful work? How was this process?
Well, again, we were very lucky because
Yes,
uh,
you have
we had
a.
a great editor
Mhm.
and he was cutting as we were shooting, which is the
Oh
best way to
wow.
go because then you know if you're missing stuff or
Hmm.
the story's working or whatever. And so Chris was cutting, and I don't know when we saw the first assembly. I can't remember. It was pretty soon after the cut, after the shoot. But it was pretty, you know, the cut, we needed fun because it was such a heavy story in the core of it.
Hmm.
So we needed fun. And he really emphasized the comedy in the beginning to set the tone of the movie.
Hmm.
All that crazy, surfing shots and spinning and all that kind of stuff. That sets the tone. And then the beauty of it is after that is when you hit the serious stuff, people go, oh, so it's real. And then that real thing is, what people hang on to. And then when you give them a laugh again, they get relief. So it's a balancing act. It's like a circus. And
Hmm.
Chris Belli is brilliant at that. But he knew that in order for the movie to get out there, and the movie's been so successful now with all these awards it's won, so people just respond to the realness of it, and that's what
Hmm.
we emphasized.
Yeah.
We said we want it to be real. I mean, I remember talking to Jimmy before we were shooting, and says to Jimmy, you know, you don't want swearing in this, or do you want swearing in this? To swear, right? I can swear. Can I swear on this podcast? Yeah.
Yes. Go ahead.
Yeah. Anyway, Jimmy said, fuck yeah, I want swearing. And he goes, okay, so we're not making a Hallmark movie here or a Lifetime movie. Fuck no, no. So we made sure that played to the, we never thought about a certain audience. We just thought about, will people like this story? Will they respond? And that's what was important. So we never, when we were cutting it and starting to bring together people like Jack Douglas, who's a genius in the music world,
Hmm.
all these great people, the reason they were responding to the movie is because it was real, and the cut of the movie was moving at such a great speed. It was almost like life. I mean, it's like you can go home at night, you sit down, you have dinner with your wife or whatever, and you have an argument, or you know, and then you go watch a comedy on TV, and then you're up quick and you're at work, and it was just like a slice of life, and all the problems that we all have in life. So I think that that's what Chris delivered in the cut, because Chris has, you know, cut everything. And when it comes to actual comedy, which is one of the hardest things to cut, you can cut drama, no
True.
problem. But comedy is very hard because it's about timing.
Mm-hmm.
And he said to me, he said it's going to work beautifully if we time the emotion within the comedy. You know what I mean? So, and it's, you know, it's like a,
Mm-hmm.
you know,
Compass, yes, correct. I mean, he's a professional editor. I can see it there, right? It's seamless. The cats, it just don't get you out of the place.
right.
So, yeah. Jimmy, what do you think? How was that process? Was easy, painful, agony? What do you think, the
Uh,
post-production? Because a lot
well,
of
it's a
people
little.
find it difficult, right? But you have a good team player, so that's also a good point.
I mean, it was like again, it was. I kind of got in a little over my head in a way of it, but I'm that type of a person. I mean, it's
Hmm.
when you're writing, when you're producing it, paying for it, and it's like everything else. It always costs more, takes longer. You always, so. But I know that being I'm also a businessman, so I also know that I know the war you have to go through in
Hmm.
business. So I can put that hat on too and go, okay, this is
Hmm.
how it is. And so no, it was it's like I mean it's a fun process. It's you have the camaraderie with the people and everything, and it's a lot of work as well. So it's a love hate kind of a business, you know.
Right, right. Guys, Mickey and Jimmy, all I can say is a beautiful work. Congratulations. I'm looking forward to see this. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna see this out there pretty soon, somehow. Because it's a good word. There's no doubt about it. Congratulations on all your success. My last question, were you expecting all the success? I mean, we know this is a true, believable, when you watch the film, you see it, a film with saying the truth, right? Were you expecting all the success you're having now?
I
Jimmy?
No, not really, to be honest. No, I'm a little. I mean, the festivals have really, but taken a liking, and I go on. When we screened it, I mean, I never. It's like anything. I can't watch it. I can't. I don't. You don't. It was. But I'm. It was like the movie I did many years ago. When I saw, I didn't like it either. But when I saw the reaction when we first did the screening, and you're seeing people in their
Mm,
seats laughing and crying, I was like, okay, we've got something here that
mhm.
now we got to figure out how to get it out there. So
Right.
really, I was going on that, uh, and it's it was I'm proud of it. Mick did a great job. I love him. He's great. I think the kid, everybody. I think it's a movie that people can feel good about, and it brings up a lot of issues, but
Mhm.
it also has there's also hope
Right.
with it, and so I'm proud. I'm proud of it.
He's waiting for me, isn't he?
Yes, Mick.
Uh, and I don't know. I think you never know at the end of a movie if you've got something good or whatever. But I think with Trust and Love, there was just a feeling I had when I watched it, and I thought people are going to like this. And I never imagined that the festival madness would happen, where
Mhm.
everybody just the response was incredible. So the thing there is when the movie gets out there, the idea is just to entertain people for an hour and a half, 90 minutes, because
Mhm.
we need that right now. We need it. People need to laugh, and they also need to see that you can fix your problems. Like the
Right.
movie says, if it weren't for second chances. So you know, everybody deserves a second chance. Everybody deserves a break. So, and the
Right.
movie does that. It does it beautifully. It tells you you can fix things.
Mhm. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's the beautiful part actually of the film. We want those second chances, right? Because we always limit it to one
absolutely,
most of the times. Yeah.
absolutely, absolutely,
Uh,
absolutely.
Mick and Jimmy, thank you very much. Congratulations, Trusting Love, a winner of the Best Feature Film in the Northfield Festival. Looking forward to see you guys in Barcelona. Maybe we're gonna talk about that, Jimmy,
Thank you, Darwin. I
by
appreciate it.
email. By email,
Yes, I
okay?
appreciate it.
Maybe it
Thank
can
you.
be an opening because I like the
Awesome.
film. It can be an opening for the festival. Actually, we do live in Barcelona. It's a
I,
massive festival.
Hey,
I
well, give
love
us an excuse to come out to Barcelona. That'd be great.
Yeah, definitely. Let's be in touch about that. Okay.
All right, Darwin. Thank you,
absolutely.
Matt.
All
Appreciate it.
right.
Thanks for chatting.
Mick,
Good luck.
Jimmy, thank you for having the film in our festival. We're very proud that you guys really won. Well
Very
deserved.
welcome.
Thank
All
you.
right, my friend. Nice
Thank
meeting
Bye.
you.
you.
Bye.
Bye
Bye
bye.
bye.